The app pinged just before 3 in the morning. Not an address, but a location pin dropped near a dying strip mall on the edge of town. I almost ignored it. Rides that start in the middle of nowhere usually end in the middle of nowhere. But it was a slow Tuesday in late October, the kind of damp, cold Ohio night where the fog clings to the low spots in the road. I accepted. This was a mistake. Of all the rides I've given, this is the one that settled into my bones. The one that made me question not what I saw, but what I didn't. The memory isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet. And it's the quiet ones that never really leave you. This is the story of the passenger who asked to be taken to a hospital that no longer exists. I pulled my Camry into the parking lot. Most of the storefronts were dark. Their signs faded. A laundromat, a dollar store, a pizza place that had been closed for years. The sodium lamps cast a sick orange glow on the wet asphalt. A single figure stood under the flickering light of the laundromat sign, perfectly still. Primera slowed down my headlights, cutting through the patchy fog. It was a man, older, maybe in his 60s. He was dressed simply a plain jacket, dark pants, no luggage. Just a sheaf of papers held tightly in one hand. Eso my car gave a slight nod and started walking toward me. There was no urgency in his step, just a slow, deliberate pace, as if he had all the time in the world. He opened the back door and slid in without a word. The dome light revealed a tired face, etched with lines I couldn't quite read. He smelled faintly of antiseptic and old paper. "Evening," I said, trying to sound cheerful. He just nodded again, his eyes fixed on the folded documents in his lap. The destination was already in the app. Mercy West Hospital. I recognized the name, but something about it felt like an echo from a long time ago. I put the car in drive and pulled back onto the 2-lane highway. The silence in the car was heavy. The only sounds were the rhythmic thump of the windshield wipers and the low hum of the engine. My passenger didn't look out the window. He didn't check his phone. He just sat there, staring at his hands. After a few miles, I glanced at the GPS. It was routing me toward the old state route, away from the new medical campus on the other side of town. "You know," I said, breaking the quiet, "the GPS says there's a newer hospital, St. Jude's, just a few minutes from here." "Mercy West." I haven't heard that name in a while. He didn't look up. His voice was soft, almost a whisper, but firm. "No, Mercy West. That's the place." There was no room for argument in his tone. It wasn't a request, it was a correction. "Primera no vez." "All right. Mercy West it is." I stayed on the route the GPS had plotted. The road got darker. The streetlights grew farther apart, their orange cones of light separated by long stretches of absolute black. We passed old grain silos, standing like silent giants against the gray sky, a railroad crossing with its lights off. The landscape was classic Rust Belt decay. "Here's where it gets darker." He finally spoke again, his voice unchanged. "They're waiting for me?" I glanced in the rearview mirror, but his face was lost in shadow. I didn't ask who. I didn't want to know. The turnoff for the hospital wasn't well marked. Justa roosted faded sign, half hidden by overgrown trees. It read, "Mercy West Hospital Emergency." The letters were peeling. I turned onto a narrow access road. The pavement was cracked, weeds pushing through the gaps. The fog was thicker here, swirling in my headlights. The world outside my car seemed to dissolve into a gray nothing. My GPS announced, "You have arrived. The destination is on your right. This location is permanently closed." My stomach tightened. Set back from the road, a massive, dark shape loomed out of the fog. It was the hospital. A sprawling brick building from another era. Every window was a black square. No lights, no signs of life. The main entrance was boarded up. A huge parking lot stretched out before it, completely empty except for a few rusted light poles. This is where I almost turned the car around. This place wasn't just closed, it was dead. Forgotten, a concrete skeleton left behind by a world that had moved on. But my passenger showed no surprise. He didn't seem confused or angry. He just looked at the dark building. I pulled up near the crumbling main entrance and put the car in park, but I kept the engine running. The silence was absolute. No distant sirens, no hum of machinery, just the sound of my own breathing and the soft ticking of the engine cooling. I waited. I didn't know what else to do. After a long moment, he finally turned his head, not to look at me, but toward the boarded-up doors. "This is it," he said, more to himself than to me. "This is where they told me to go." His voice was flat, without emotion. He reached for the door handle. "Sir," I started, my voice tight. "Are you sure? This place is abandoned. There's nobody here." He opened the door, letting in a rush of cold, damp air. He stepped out of the car, still clutching his papers. He stood there for a second, a dark silhouette against the darker building. He didn't look back at me. He just said, "They'll find me." Then he closed the door gently and began walking toward the dark entrance. He didn't hurry. Ehust walked his steps steady on the broken pavement until the fog swallowed him completely. I sat there for a full 5 minutes, my heart pounding, staring at the spot where he had disappeared, waiting for something. A light to turn on, a door to open, a shout. Nothing. I didn't end the ride. I couldn't. I backed the car up slowly, my headlights sweeping across the building's dead facade. I turned around and drove away, glancing in my rearview mirror until the hospital was just a memory in the fog. I drove for 20 minutes before I finally found the courage to pull over and cancel the trip, selecting passenger no-show because there was no option for passenger vanished into the past. What stayed with me wasn't fear of a ghost, it was something colder. The chilling realization that systems fail, that entire buildings, once filled with the noise of life and death, can just disappear. And the people who depended on them. Sometimes they don't get the memo. Sometimes they're left behind, holding on to outdated information, searching for a place that only exists in their memory. I still drive the night shift. I still see the fog roll in over the empty fields of Ohio. And every now and then, on a quiet road, I think of him, the man with the papers, walking toward a hospital that wasn't there, waiting for people who would never come. If this story stayed with you, share your thoughts in the comments. The night is full of stories. Thanks for listening.